started.
Finesse with the white pieces. Kicks off with e4. Well, how about a French defense? Okay, we get an exchange French. Usually not considered to be a try for much of an advantage. But beyond that, I don't know anything about it. So, that could be one of the advantages of playing something like the exchange French, is your opponent doesn't have a plan against it. It's interesting that he played h3 pretty quickly, so that stops me from putting a knight or a bishop on g4. He doesn't want me to pin his knight, I guess. So we've got basically the same setup. I'll go ahead and copy it. I don't want him pinning my knight either. Maybe he was pausing to think at that point whether he should throw in the pin before developing his knight. But so we aren't going to have any pin knights over here on the king side. Now he can hop his knight into e5 there, but he didn't do that. So my plan is to block the check with my bishop. This piece is pinned, but which means that this d pawn is not defended. Well, but it is defended by the knight. So is he just going to? Is he going to win something here? If he takes, I take back. No, he's not going to win anything. He's just going to create a backwards d pawn, I guess. It'll be a target. Oh, he is going to win something. What happened? I thought the queen was defending it. Okay, well, if you play like this is going to be an advantage for white. Okay, so if he takes it, I'm going to play rook to f2, I guess. I'm being check, and I'll have to do something about it. He didn't take it. He did not take it. After all that trouble, messing up my pawns, he doesn't bother to take it. Okay, well, I like the rook on the f file then if he's not taking. It's an open file. I can defend with the queen. I can't push it, right? If I push to d5, he takes. And he just has that under control. So let's defend with the queen. If I'm lucky, I'm probably not. I was going to say I would like to develop my knight and then bring the other rook over to defend the e-pawn. But he can just play the immediate rook to e1 and stop me from doing that, force me to defend it with the rook. But he didn't do that, okay? So I am getting my knight out. You know, he can always drop a knight into the e5 square, hitting my queen. That would be annoying. He's not doing that either. Okay. So I get my rook behind the pawn. Now I'm just going to push it. Can I push it? Okay. Pawn to e5. Pawn takes. Knight takes. Knight takes. Bishop takes. Queen takes. Rook takes. That's like 2 pieces for a queen after rook takes, which should be good for me. Well, 2 pieces and a pawn for the queen. And I'll have a rook there, but I'll have it defended by the knight. I will play that. Now, I don't have to take with the bishop. I could take with the rook instead. The queen moves out of the way. I will take his rook. And if his queen takes, I'll take back with the bishop. And then he's got a rook here. Okay, so did I win anything? No. Okay, we came out materially even after all of that. On the other hand, my pieces are a little bit more forward than his pieces, so maybe I got something out of it. I think he had much better. I think I misplayed things a bit, and he didn't take advantage of it. Okay, so I'm thinking of moves like knight to knight e4, hitting the f2 square, but maybe I should really play bishop c5 first. And the rook is already on the f file. I just need to concentrate my fire on f2 here, I think. He blocks with his knight. Yeah, that's good. Now I can play queen to f4. Can also play rook to e8, queen f5 or rook e8. Rook e8 hitting his queen. And maybe if he brings his knight to e5 here to block the attack on his queen, then I can play queen to f5 here to put pressure on the pinned knight, and that should be good. Although he could have defended with f4. So yeah, so his queen just steps aside, and now I can bring my queen out. He can attack my queen with knight to knight to d4 rather. So I'm not sure queen f4 was the right idea. So I'm just shoring up the center so that my pieces are free to move. The knight was tied up defending it, and the queen maybe a little bit. So maybe just queen to e7. Yeah, so his knight went there. Now queen e7 threatens to come down here. His knight, where is his knight threatening to go? His knight is threatening to come into f5 or e6. So f5 is under control right now. But if I play queen to queen e7, he goes knight f5. I go queen e1 check. Queen takes, rook takes check. King to h2. And I don't have the bishop check because the knight is guarding that square. But I do have bishop takes pawn at least. So queen e7 looks like a move. See how far I got. And he should develop his bishop. Yeah, that's the thing to do. And now I can play my knight to e4. Maybe the rook goes back to the f file. The bishop is defended by the queen, but knight f knight f5 is something to think about. So the bishop is also defended by the knight. So if I play queen to f6, there is bishop takes, knight takes, and then he has time to move his knight again. But I don't know if he's actually improved the position of his knight. It's loose here. He's got to do something active. After bishop takes, I could take either the knight or the bishop. But I think I would take his knight. That looks like the more active piece at this point. Would I? No, I think I'll take his bishop. Okay, he just goes back. So knight takes f2, and bishop takes. And there's nothing there. Knight to now, yeah. When I move the knight, there's some pressure on his bishop. So I could play knight to g3. He can't take it. But where does the knight go from g3? Knight to g3. Is it threatening to come to e2? Not really. I think I need to, let's drop the bishop back and play with c5 and just kick his knight out of that good post in the center there. Okay, his queen is putting pressure on my knight. So c5 now. His knight moves. It could come to b5, or it could drop back to one of these good squares. Then I could push on with d4. Pawn takes, knight takes, bishop takes. I don't have it. Oh yeah, I do. I have the queen on it. Let's see where he goes. But if it's not making a big threat, then I believe I can push on with d4, because, yeah, here, d4, pawn takes, knight takes, bishop takes, queen takes, right? So I come out a piece up in that line. So he can't take, or he can't take more than once. He could take once, and then he has to move his bishop. And now I have this funny idea. I'm sacrificing the knight on f2.
Check.
Ah, he's got a check. That's good. That's a good maneuver. Okay, so do I have a clever response to that? If I just move the king, then he can grab the pawn. And what do I have? So queen to here. Queen to f2, takes, and then he can grab the pawn, so that's even worse. And if I don't block with the queen, what am I doing? Yeah, it's better to keep the material on, so I guess I will go to the square. Well, maybe in the post-mortem I'll show you the tactic I had in mind. It's not working out here the way I intended. Let's see. Maybe I should try and enter with my queen. I want to... yeah, but he's just going to take my bishop here if I move my queen away. So I guess I need to take. Yeah, and then he's just going to trade down. Makes sense. Very logical. And can I do something other than that? Something to discourage that. Knight here. My queen is defended where it is, but I don't have any great attacks. Knight here. Knight f2, just queen takes is fine. Rook attacking the queen, queen takes, knight takes. And, my knight is not, and my rook is not even penetrating anywhere great. So maybe rook to c8. So they can play rook to c7, go after his pawns. Queen takes, knight takes, rook to d8 is an idea, but then he just drops his rook back, right? I guess I try to keep the queen on. He's going to play his rook to rook to e1 to pin my knight, I guess. So yeah, it's just hard to avoid trades, even though I don't want them. Okay, Finesse is pausing to think here. Let's see. I can penetrate with my queen to c5, perhaps. Okay, no, he doubles on that at that point. So let's see. What are the squares that check the king? Right here is one. Here and here. And I can get to that. So I want to get my knight to the f5 square. That's kind of the ideal place for it. And to get to f5, it has to come from one of these light squares here, here, or here. If I go here, bang, 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 he can pin the knight is a problem. If I go here, he can take it. See, I can't get to this square easily. To get to this square, I guess that's the best route. Knight to f6 to h5 to f4 would be my best hope of getting to one of these good squares. And I'm really down on time. Fortunately, there's an increment in this system. Okay, he's attacking my queen and threatening to come into this square. Let's go to c2, looking at the g3 square and the b pawn, although these pawns are all defended. Somewhat forlorn hopes here. So I can get the knight to h5, but I can't get to f4 because he's got that square under control. So is there any place where it's really feasible? Here, let's just make a pawn move so my pawns aren't hanging. He could have grabbed a pawn on the queen side at any time too. He just wasn't in the mood to go pawn grubbing, I guess. And I needed a quick move here. Okay, so let's give a check.
Check.
This is a way to get back over here, maybe. So maybe now knight h5 to f4 is possible. I'm putting pressure on the knight. Still keeping an eye on
Check.
the g6 square. Yeah, I don't have that square under control. That's true. So, but if I go here,
Server announcement.
you can try defending with the queen from the c4 square. Okay, just move back. Okay, there's no check with the knight. Here, let's go here. Oh, he's taking my queen. Okay. Well, anyway, he was better. It was tough for me to find moves, so I'll resign here. Quick resign before I run out of time. Okay, I will
Challenge.
upload this and do a postmortem. See you guys later. Bye.